Hi there, it's Melissa from Melissa Vining Creates and welcome back to my channel. So I have another layout today for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files design team, and I am using two cut files. I'm using the Hang In There cut file with that gorgeous sloth, and I'm also using the trees cut file, which comes with two different types of trees which I've cut several times. So for this one I'm using the crepe paper Good Vibes collection. I don't have much left. I got it with the scrappery kit I think a couple of years ago, and then I'm also using some sticker sheets that really need to be killed. So the bottom one there is the Good Vibes one. This is an older Dear Lizzie, and then I've got, did you know, I think the top one was the Good Vibes. I'm not sure what the bottom one was, but it is crepe paper. And I thought this collection worked really well because it's got some like a crafty brown colour that I can use for the tree trunks, and then I've got enough pattern paper to be able to back my trees and the sloth. And I had to have the sloth cut file because my 10-and-a-half-year-old daughter adores sloths. For Christmas she wanted her entire room to be remade or redone with sloth features. We got her one thing. We wanted to get her some bigger things, like we got her a shelf and a hanging shelf, and then her grandparents got her a bedside table. I did get her a sloth cushion, and I think we'll get her some more things. We just wanted to get the big things for the room makeover taken care of first. So I've kept in the backing of some of the cut files, just a couple of the trees, just so you can see how I do it. So I just glue it down and then trim it out, and I've got these special Tim Holtz scissors which are really good at cutting through sort of semi-dry to fully dry adhesive. You do still have to clean them though. They're not, they don't repel the adhesive, it still gets a bit stuck on them. So here I am just using my Tombow Mono Multi and trying to get a thin as line as possible, and then just gluing it onto my paper. So I don't always trim out my cut file immediately. I'll wait for it to dry a bit, but if it's larger than this and it's got thicker lines, like if I'd cut these huge, then I could do it straight away. So just showing you again how I'm trimming out the trunk. And I used two different green pattern papers to back these trees. I made sure I backed the same type of tree with the same pattern paper. So in this instance, that's the second piece that I'm using, which is a ledger. Now I wanted this layout to be quite whimsical. I don't really know what colour sloths are. The sloth pillow that my daughter has is grey. It's got like I think it's got a paler grey face. It's got sort of the black eyes. It's like they've got not a mask on across their eyes, but it looks like they've kind of got a mask on their eyes. So this paper is from, I think it's from Simple Stories. It's really old. I got it in a grab bag from Hip Kit Club, and I think this is the third time I'm using it as a background. I've used it for another layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. I think it was a Sam cut file where I used the big cut file that had words like rad and awesome on it, and I just thought it went really well with my scene that I'm creating with the sloth and the trees. So I've used some Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I'm nearly down to the end of my bottle. I've got another bottle left, and I also use some Delusions ink spray in white linen from Ranger, and it's really beautiful, that spray. So I wanted something to kind of, I'd say ground, but the sloth isn't really grounded, he's hanging off the side, but I wanted something to have him, my daughter will probably say it's a girl, but it doesn't matter, to have her sort of attached to the side of my page, because I wanted the sloth to look like it was hanging in the trees. So I've just torn this piece of paper as well. That's also from that grab bag. The grab bag isn't a set collection. I think it's just extra pieces of product and papers that the Hip Kit hasn't sold. So I did contemplate using that pattern as my whole background, but I just couldn't get beyond the sort of the sun and blue skies scene. So here I'm just wanting to back the sloth with some craft foam, and then I had to decide how many of the trees I needed to back with craft foam as well, and I think in the end, I'm trying to think if I backed any of them. I can't remember, I'll have to see. So just showing you what I do here, I just trim it down to the pieces and sizes that I need. And anything that's too small, I use a Stampin' Up! Dimensional, which is the same height as the craft foam. So if you're going to get craft foam, I would definitely say to go with the adhesive single double-sided adhesive one. Just saves you a lot of time from having to glue and or use double-sided tape on both sides of that craft foam. So here I'm just adding these tiny little Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and even the little tiny ones I still cut in half if I've got a small piece that I need to pop up. So some of the leaves hanging off the vines are tiny, and that's why I've cut those little bits in half. So my splatters are pretty much dry. I still have to be careful not to put things face down on them. I've done that before. I've done that with a photo before, which is really frustrating. And just using my Tombow to glue things down. So you'll just see how I build my scene now. I'm wanting my sloth to hang over the top. I just love how this is looking. I think I said before I've gone with a whimsy look. So with the sloth I've used a kind of a ledger or almost like a calendar kind of page in pink. I've put the flowers in its hair. I've gone with a stripe that's cream and pink for its face. And then I've done like the brown and green for the leaves and the branch. So just trying to work out how I'm going to do this. I definitely wanted to have 5 trees on there. I think an uneven number of trees looks good for design. Ideally I wouldn't have wanted all the same tree together, but I guess that's how they grow, isn't it? They grow in stands. So yeah, I was more thinking about how visually pleasing it would be. I was a bit not funny. I wasn't sure whether I really wanted that tree at the top there, but I had to get it on the page, and I think in the end it looks like a canopy. It has different size and different heights of trees. But of course I want the focus to be my photo as well. So this photo is a photo of Azaria and I took in December. We went shopping. She was in our carol service at church, and then we went shopping after that with just her and I, and it was really lovely, and we loved doing that together. And so of course I had to take some selfies. The photo quality wasn't that great, so I think I've put some filters on it in Snapseed and lightened it quite a lot to get it looking like that. And then I have just used one of those crepe paper frames. I can't remember if these came out of the Good Vibes collection. I think they must have. So they've got beautiful pom-pom trim, and I thought the yellow worked really well because I've got some yellow in the sloth's flowers. So I'm just wanting to bring that colour in, and also with the beautiful rays between the blue and the orange of the background paper. So I am sorry about the glare. That's just because of my light. And you can see this is how I get, if I put too much adhesive on and it goes over, I just use a piece of paper. I use the sort of the straight edge just to scrape that adhesive off before it dries. And then I'm just trimming it out here. Those scissors. I love those scissors so much. I can't recommend them enough. If you're going to be doing some really fine fussy cutting, I would recommend the Stampin' Up! Little ones. So then I've decided to put this big tree off the edge, and so when you do that you want to make sure you're not putting adhesive where it's going to go off the edge. So just placing that down there, and in the end I don't think I put craft foam on the back of any of these trees. I think the sloth I wanted to have dimension, and also that frame is very textural and it's got dimension on its own just by the fact it's chipboard with those pom-poms. So I'm really, really happy with how this one turned out. It's exactly as whimsical as I wanted it to be. I did have trouble with embellishing it. I think because it's a scene and it's kind of hard to know how far to go with embellishment. These are my Nuvo drops. These are this is the extent of my collection at the moment. That carrier or storage case that it's in is from scrapbook.com, and I got it free when I purchased some products before Christmas. I purchased in the Black Friday sale, and if you spend a certain amount you got a gift, and I chose that. And so it stores them upside down. The the gold one, it's kind of odd, it doesn't really fit in there, but I've still kept it on. It comes with a cover that goes over the top, and that's where the gold one, because of the shape of the bottle, it sits up quite high. So I have kind of messed up the right eye of the sloth there, but once again I'm just using some paper just to push the drop back to where I want it. It's not perfect, but it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to be perfect with my scrapbooking anyway. So these are some really old, probably not that old, maybe last year, awesome letter stickers from Hip Kit Club. They're really, really gold. The photos that I take that you'll see at the end, they don't do justice to gold. Gold is very hard to photograph, but you can see here in my video just how gold they are with the reflection of my light. So at this point I was going to call it hanging with you, and then you'll see I don't show all of this, but I do add some liquid adhesive just behind these as well. Not over the entire letter, but just enough to secure it. And I wanted it to continue with the whimsy feel of this layout. I wanted it to sort of go curved along the line of the curve of the tree and up to the next tree and down to the next one. So you'll see there that I've gone I Heart Hanging With You, and I'm really happy with that as a title, and she loves it. She has been sick for most of the weekend, and she was really excited when she woke up one morning and saw this layout. So there, I can't even see what that says, but it's got, I think it says Pink Happy Thoughts or something. I'm going with that little camera die cut as well. I think that's from the Good Vibes collection, and December, because that's when I took the photos. And then looking at this Dear Lizzie sticker sheet, I managed to get one sticker on there, and that's fine. I'm just wanting to use these things up because I love them, and it's good to dive into your stash. And I think you've probably noticed that I have been doing a few older stash layouts lately, as well as using my hip kits. So these little enamel hearts, they also came in that grab bag, and I love them. The colours are perfect, so I've gone with a couple on either side, and then I go for a group of 3. At this point I'm thinking I'm using 2, but then I will come back in with another one. And then this one, what does it say? I can't even see that, but it's another positive quote. And then I've added another heart, like I said, trimming off the excess, and then all I have to do is add my journaling. So I did debate putting it down there, but then in the end I decided, no, let's put it up here. And sorry about that. One thing I have been doing lately is not putting my date next to my journaling, so I think I add that after because the date will be on my phone, which I'm filming with. So that is pretty much my layout. I hope you enjoyed this process, and I hope I've inspired you to use the more like literal cut files in a whimsical way. Like if there's an animal or an object, you don't have to back them the colour of the animal or the object. You can use whatever paper you want. So yeah, I loved making this. My daughter's really happy with it, and it may even go on her wall, hopefully. So yeah, make sure you check out the Etsy shop where Virginia has so many lovely cut files, and also our Facebook group. So yeah, I'll be back again in February for Confessions of a Paper Addict. Thanks for watching.